The actress Kim Ah-ra managed to defect from the most censored country in the world and become a successful and well-respected celebrity in South Korea, but nothing about it was easy. The entertainment industry in North Korea compared to the diverse entertainment world in South Korea are like two completely different worlds. In North Korea, entertainment is generally produced exclusively by the state, and because of how the state is determined to keep absolutely everything under control, it's hard to believe that North Korean artists would be a good fit for the glamorous world of South Korean celebrities. But the reality is that North Korean defectors who then went on to become celebrities have been very successful in recent years. From talk shows to reality TV programs, they have managed to give the viewers a glimpse into what life is like in North Korea. Among those is Kim Ah-ra, who has become a staple in the South Korean entertainment industry. Looking at her, there's absolutely nothing about her that would give away that she grew up in the middle of famine and poverty. Born in 1991 in Hworyong City, Ah-ra didn't have it easy as a child. Her family was poor, and all of her family members had to work extremely hard just to put a little bit of food on the table. A huge part of Ah-ra's early memories always revolved around food and the lack of it. When her family managed to obtain some kind of food, the family consumed it immediately. Most of the time, they had to make do with the little they had, like rice or grass. Together with her family, Ah-ra would help prepare the food, which was usually a few spoons of rice mixed together with grass and a lot of water. It made some kind of dark porridge that had to sustain 4 people. Ah-ra's father worked in a mine and her mother worked herself to the bone on a collective farm. Ah-ra couldn't afford to go to school. Instead, she helped her mother and father to look for food. She used to scour the nearby hills for any edible greenery, be it grass, different roots, or herbs, or anything that could be made into something eatable. To this day, this is the life of people living in North Korea. And for Ah-ra's family too, eating 3 fixed meals a day was something impossible to achieve and even harder to imagine. Her family wasn't always dirt poor, although it's what she remembers the most about her childhood. Before the actress was born in 1991, food was accessible in North Korea due to the state proclaiming to be the sole provider of food, clothing, tools, and homes. But when the Soviet economy collapsed and the country's trading partners disappeared, millions of people were hit with famine, Ah-ra's parents included. In an attempt to save his family from passing away due to starvation, Ah-ra's father decided to sell their government-issued house for 22 pounds of corn. Although their house definitely wasn't anything luxurious, it was enough to keep them dry and warm. But because of the fear of starving, the family relocated to a roughly built hut with a leaking roof and the whole place infested with insects. Ah-ra vividly remembers that around this time, her mother began to talk about how she would risk her own life to flee to China to find some food. Reminiscing about her life in the village, Ah-ra shared, "I remember wandering the village, looking at the ground, hoping to spot a stray noodle or chicken head. My dad would cook rats and tell us it was rabbit meat." When Ah-ra reached the age of 12, her mother decided she would try the impossible, flee North Korea. This process is life-threatening and takes more courage than we can imagine, but Ah-ra and her mother ran away from her home one day and never looked back. Their journey took days as they had to avoid places where they could be easily seen by people, so they mainly traveled through forests and hills. The 2 women weren't alone, as it's much more difficult to escape North Korea on your own. They were aided by an underground railroad, which was run by a group of religious people. Once North Koreans escaped to China, this network helped them out of the country and into countries that could help them with contacting South Korean authorities. Because of how illegal the whole process was, any bigger details of Ah-ra and her mother's escape aren't known. Young Ah-ra probably had a completely different idea of how her life is going to turn out. When she was asked if she ever thought about the possibility of performing in North Korea, she answered, "How can I explain this to you?" That's like asking someone who's never heard of pizza if they craved the taste of pizza. People who experienced such a drastic level of poverty like Ah-ra don't have a chance to join the North Korean entertainment scene and become well-known performers. She commented on the matter saying, "In a capitalist world, your individual dreams or desires are given importance. In the North Korean countryside, you never think about it. Your fate is totally determined by the government." Because of how difficult and challenging life is in the poverty-stricken villages, someone's dreams don't matter that much. All that really matters is survival. There's a way to become a performer in North Korea, but it couldn't be more different from how it goes in the South. People coming from Pyongyang and other bigger, more culturally developed cities have a higher chance of being involved in the arts than people coming from villages and remote locations. Also, no one really chooses to become a performer in North Korea. The state does that for them. Children in primary schools are hand-picked by higher-up people and are immediately introduced to rigorous training to enhance their artistic abilities. Government officials go from class to class and look for the perfect girls, those who had big round eyes, eyes, high-pitched voices, and delicate features were more likely to be picked than any other. When Ah-Ra arrived in Seoul, she very quickly learned that even people with great intentions were capable of saying something that would hurt her heart. She recalled a moment when somebody asked her why didn't she just have some noodles if she was really so hungry back at home? Ah-Ra then shared a few thoughts about the moment. "I thought this was mean and kind of twisted. You already know we're coming from poverty with no education, so why say these things? I already look down on myself enough." Ah-Ra spent years living in shame until her life slowly began to change in 2012. That year, the talk show Now on My Way to Meet You aired its first episode and showed her completely different opportunities. The show is known for being both comedic and borderline chilling due to the ever-changing cast of North Korean defectors as they share stories about their homeland. The topics discussed on the show truly go from 0 to 100. They reminisce about northern fashion or music, and suddenly they are talking about the terrifying public executions. The first time Ah-Ra stumbled upon the show, she was enrolled in a beautician school. After watching an episode of the show, she became slightly obsessed with it. Her attention immediately fell on the beautiful North Korean women. She said, "I'd never seen North Korean women on TV with pedicures and dyed hair. I envied them." The invitation to actually join the show came shortly after. It was sent through Ah-Ra's former classmate, who also happened to be a North Korean defector. Ah-Ra dreamily recalled that she couldn't believe her luck and that all of the cameras, bright lights, and colors made her feel very embarrassed. But she was proven to be a natural entertainer, and she became a regular on the show, slowly entering the world of South Korean entertainment. Through her appearances on TV, Ah-Ra wants to break down the stereotypes of North Korean women, which South Korea often portrays in the media. Female defectors from the North are often portrayed as weak and fragile on television, and Ah-Ra wants the world to see North Korean women as what they truly are, brave and strong. She does acknowledge that the media often prefer to choose women who are so pretty they could be easily mistaken for an idol, which isn't the way it is in North Korea at all. Ah-Ra shared, "I know all the North Korean women on TV are idol types. I'm embarrassed to say it, but yeah, people say I'm pretty, and that has helped me find acceptance." She wants to use that knowledge for a good cause. The actress added, "I want to use that opportunity to help other defectors come out and feel less ashamed." The media and the outside world, they're now showing more interest in the real lives of North Koreans. Because of how popular she was on Now on My Way to Meet You, Ah-Ra began to appear in TV shows and movies a few years later. She scored roles in movies like Six Ball or Honest Candidate 2, and in TV shows like Tempted, Rude Miss Youngie, or the legendary Crash Landing on You. Her future is definitely bright, and it looks like great things are waiting for her, not only in her career but in her personal life too, as she recently announced she would be getting married. She's absolutely glowing and looking stunning in the engagement photos, and even shared a little sneak peek of her handsome soon-to-be husband. Their wedding is going to take place sometime in October this year, and it's surely going to be magical. Let us know in the comments what you think about Ah-Ra's journey.